YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host TKK and we are back with another video, guys. Thank you for tuning into this video. It's been about 10, maybe 12 days since my last upload. If you guys haven't noticed, my frequency typically is when I start uploading, you're going to get an abundance of videos. You're probably going to get like videos every 2 days, every 3 days, maybe every single day for a good week and some change. And then I'm going to take some time. I've learned that you got to have the proper balance, because although I enjoy what I do on here, the many of things that we talk about, it's a lot of work, okay? So today I wanted to just open up this video with video expectations. As usual, we'll have timestamps down in the description and in the time bar, so you can feel free to utilize that to get yourself to where you want to be. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate everybody that has supported the channel with likes, with comments, with any kind of super chats, things of that sort. And if you've considered being a member, that's very supportive to me, and also the people that share the content too. Today's video, we're going to talk about the LG G4 in 83 inch specifically. Okay, I've gotten permission, which I say permission because I ask. I'm a very respectful person. I don't like showing the other side unless I have to, and I've never met a person on the internet, on YouTube, that I feel like is an opposition. You know, this thing that we're doing, we can be respectful, and you know, we can all eat out here together. But I got permission from Classy. If you don't know Classy Calibrations, it's a YouTuber, pretty damn popular, makes some great content. And Classy made a video about the G4. He's got it in 83 inch, amazing work. But I want to go ahead and talk about that. And guys, we're going to get that going right after this intro. All right, guys, so welcome back to the channel, man. Listen, I had a great day today, and yesterday I actually took the time to watch in all of its entirety Classy's video, in which, you know, we'll take some snippets and look at it, and we'll have some talking points about it today. Whisper Status also has a pretty good video with the 83 inch G4 talking about it also. You know, you guys ever heard the saying, like, great minds think alike? You know, I really believe that to be true. It's like no idea is truly an original idea. It's just like, you know, the first person that gets to put it out is just like the person that gets the credit for it. But it's just so tricky how, you know, our brains work, where we could be thinking the same thing, right? And that thing that I'm talking about is just how those two, with myself and probably many others, right, see the LG G4 83 inch as being like the supreme largest OLED. It's the greatest of all time, largest OLED that you could ever own, right? And so this TV has had my interest from me looking at, like, you know, the improvements that they've made and the content that's been put out and things like CES and so forth. It's just a phenomenal TV, right? What the G3 lacked pretty much for me was the gaming fidelity, the graphical and the picture fidelity, the quality, if you will, in game mode, right? Specifically, the TV just kind of fell short. Well, that's not the same with the G4, and I know this to be a fact now because one of the YouTubers that, you know, is in this game putting out content has brought us some footage talking about his experience in owning this TV, okay? And I just gotta say, I'm still on the fence about it though. So there's a couple of things that's holding me up, because I know the magic question is like, why don't I have the TV yet? Because I talked about it. Well, number one, I plan on buying mine from Best Buy. That's the place that I want to buy my TV from. And the reasoning is because I want to be able to invest in a 5-year warranty. I know that LG provides a warranty, but, you know, I want to be able to deal with the TVs in the same space that I always have, right? So that's number one. So it's not available. Like where I'm at is just not an option. It's showing sold out, so it's not there. It's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because it's giving me time to kind of think about and see the Sony more. I made a community tab post saying that I have a contact now at Sony that has reached out to me and told me, hey, you know, you want to come down to South Florida to take a look at some of this content on, you know, a date in May. You can definitely do that. So I got the money ready to cash out, But in this case, I'm like, I don't know if the 85 B9 is going to be the one for me. 85 inch versus 83 inch, new mini LED technology versus, upgraded OLED technology. I don't know, man. It's a tricky thing, right? But let's get to Classy's video. All right, so we taking a look at my dog's channel. This is his channel, Classy Tech Calibrations. I say channel, but it's his channel. Yeah, so you can see the video. I just got done watching it again because I wanted to get some fresh talking points, and so I'm gonna try to play it a little bit, but not try to snatch his sauce too much, because it's because of him that I have a better understanding of this TV. So I think this is a great video that I'm more than happy with, promoting. It's just some great content that helped me, just it put my mind at ease, basically. Now, I'm going to be honest here. I'm not really the type of person that watches other people videos with the intentions of buying a TV. And what I mean is, like, I've already had my mind set that the G4 83 inch was kind of like the play for me. Like, I've already made some subject matter content to talk about moving my room around and staging things to make things how I want them to be. But this was a great video. And while I'm at it, before I flash to his content, I just want to give some kudos because this was a different type of video. I'm openly, publicly subscribed to Classy, and so I like his content. But this content was different content. It seemed more like content like I make, like Whisper Status make. It's more like real life content instead of it just being, and this is just me critiquing the video. Just like what I liked about it was it didn't seem like it was just like, the color space here and the color gamut there. And like the dude is just super, I don't know how you would put it. He's freaking just like to the point with, what he does. But this video was a little bit, it was more refreshing and an easier watch for me because I don't really care about, personally, no offense, but I just really don't care to listen to people talk about like accuracy and all of that in terms of like how they go to test things. But this video was a great video for me specifically because it was more like, damn, it was like, it just seemed like more like natural, right? I don't know. But in any event, let's check out some of this content. All right, so tapping into this thing right here, just where, he's showing this TV. I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, God damn, man, it just looks ridiculous. And about right here, where I don't know if this is like a tree or whatnot. I don't know. There's just something about when I was watching this video, I was like, man, this quality of this thing just looks marvelous. This is one of these situations where, sometimes you look at something, even though you're watching it through like a phone. Me personally, I watched this on like my 12.9 iPad Pro. And so the quality is pretty good on that. And I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, damn, this TV is looking good, man. You know what I mean? And so I'm a little jealous because I'm like, dang, if I wanted to buy it, I couldn't buy it right now because it's just not available in the size that I want. But there were some great talking points. Now, some of the great talking points that I thought about this video that I really enjoyed. I don't know how much of this I can play. I just want to be able to kind of talk about some of the things I was seeing. He made a very good detail to talk about himself going from 77 inch, which is what I have. I right now own 3 77-inch TVs, S95C, which I got repaired, and we'll talk about that probably in the next video, A95L, and then the LG G2, okay? So I've also been interested in going to the larger size, and there was no 83 inch that really offered me like a feeling that I was getting a true successor of the TVs that I do have, okay? And so he brought that out. So again, a part of what I enjoyed so much about this video was more like, him just inviting us as viewers into like his space, you know what I'm saying? Like, tell me what you're thinking and why this works for you. And I'm telling you, man, like when you do that on YouTube, it just seems like it works out because you end up finding more people that will gravitate towards you because they have that same light bulb that's going off above their head. And I was definitely one of them. So talking about, the fact that, of course, going from a 77 to an 83, I don't know what the percentage is with that. I don't know how to do the mathematical breakdown of what that is, but it's obviously a larger TV, right? but it's not going to be like, oh my God, you're going from 65 to 77. It's like not like night and day, but definitely that immersion is there, especially if you're a person, you know what I'm saying, like myself. And I know he said in his video his sweet spot was like 10 feet. So going from 77 to 83, man, it's pretty dynamic. My situation is a little bit different, and we'll talk about my setup in another video, right? I don't want to, bring too much into this video. But more recently, just to kind of kick it off, more recently, I did talk about moving my stuff around. Nope, it didn't work out. I didn't like how my house looked in the way that I had that room. So my sweet spot is about, 15 feet. Now, this is with me having chairs that are closer on the left and right. But again, going to a larger size, this is going to be big for me, going from 77 to 83 or possibly to 85, because the B9 is definitely the first contender. That's what's number one on my mind right now. Hearing him talk about the immersion and the quality and everything that he's got from this TV has been very refreshing for me, to say the least. All right, so within this video, he did briefly talk some about reflections too, talking about the coating of the TV. I don't want to steal all the meat and potatoes of his video and regurgitate everything, but just kind of want to talk about it from TKK's perspective of what I got from the video. Obviously, OLED's going to have some type of reflection there. As you can see right here on the steel that I've captured from the video, he's got light from the left and the right, as well as the window unit that's behind him, as well as what looks like maybe a door or something. That you can see all of that content. Now, when there's bright content, white content specifically on the TV, that's not going to be a big deal. But, this is something to be conscious of. And this is exactly why I feel like the Samsung S95D does have a very healthy position in households, because a lot of people are going to have, some type of scenario where they don't have the bat cave, as my boy KG was talking about in his video, kind of, giving the S95D some grace. I give that TV a lot of grace, man, because, that matte finish will fight all of this. Now, Classy specifically was talking about, his 83 G4 not having so bad a glare that, it was unwatchable. At this point, if you're like me, I've been with the OLED stuff since its infancy, literally. So I'm pretty accustomed to it. I personally feel like the biggest opportunity with OLED in totality has been the reflections. S95D has kind of fixed that, but that's my own thing. I don't want to rant about that. But glare doesn't look to be a big concern. Nothing out of the normal. Looks like it might fight things a little bit better. But I think he said something about him having like a smaller version. He'll be doing some comparisons with like other TVs, to kind of talk about what that finish looks like. All right, right here, he was showing the comparisons of what he had versus what he does have. This is two totally different shots, but this is very meticulous. Great work here, brother. I know the type of work that it takes to bring this kind of content, so I'm grateful for that. I don't like doing a lot of comparisons on my channel, specifically just because, man, it's a lot of work, moving the TVs around, finding the right space for them. And then I like for my house to look fly, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like things to look a certain way. So, you know what I mean? I just really can't do it. But, I like this. This was just great for me. Just even though it's in video, just being able to see, like, how much bigger, you know what I mean? And then even for like the quality sake of like brightness and things of that sort, like, the white levels and such like that. This was great right here. This was really good content. And we're like 70% into the video. So this was definitely like a front to back watch. I definitely encourage you guys to go check it out so you can get all the commentary and everything that he had to spill on this video. Some great content for sure. All right, around this point of the video, he's talking about price point, and I just kind of wanted to discuss that a little bit. The 83-inch of the G4 is about $6,500. So in United States, $6,500 is roughly what you'll pay for the TV. Of course, it's new, like it's the newest of the new, and there's no sales right now for it, right? There's definitely some margin. If you just know about TVs, you know that there's definitely some margin. So what that means is that we can expect for some sales to come. And then the other TV that I'm looking to compare to this TV, or not really to compare, but I'm making my decision, is $1,000 less and it's 2 inches larger. It also doesn't have perfect blacks. It doesn't have 144 hertz, but it does have, some other opportunities that I think would work best, which also I do believe to be fighting reflections. All of that in the grand scheme matter to me, but he's talking about price point at this point, and some great points and details mentioned there. All right, and this was the crowning moment of the video going into the end. This wasn't a complete review. This was an overview as the video states, but he's talking about game mode, man. Listen, I purchased, I'll give you the story about how I have a 77 LG G2 right now. It's because last year I bought a 55-inch LG G3, okay, specifically for gaming. I bought it like for the RTX 4090, like a dedicated setup for it, and I just was not impressed. There was just something about, you know, the game mode that I was lacking. And again, I'm not the calibrator. I'm not that guy, right? I'm not that super technical guy, but I spend that bag, and I've been spending that bag a long time, longer than most, right? And so I know what good looks like. I know what to expect. I know how to inspect what I expect. And when I get a TV that I've spent, you know what I'm saying, some cash on, and I get it in front of me and I tweak it a little bit, I do like my 1-2 step, what I need to do, and it's not showing up, it's just not showing up. My S90C that I purchased also last year next to my G3, even though it's MLA, right? The G3 is MLA white OLED versus the S95C or the S90C, excuse me, being QD OLED. It was a wash. I'm like, man, there's no way I'm gonna be sticking with this TV, right? So I just revamped my decision and returned that TV, okay? And instead of, because I had already paid the credit card off that I used immediately, because I kind of did a thing where I used the credit card, paid it off, got me some extra reward certificates, you know what I'm saying? And so I was kind of like, all right, well, I'm stuck with that. So what I did was I just, you know, I don't know. I just processed it as like a credit because I had already paid the card off. And so I just took those funds. I got a great deal on a 77 G2, which he speaks about in this video right here at this point, saying the G3 in game mode is pretty much more or less a G2, if not a G1. And so my decision at that point was like, okay, well, I've already spent this money. I got these extra points for it too. So I might as well take this credit and these points and just go ahead and get me a great deal, man. I was able to get me a 77-inch G2 for around the same exact cost as a 55 G3. Now, for those of you that are just like in so awe with MLA or with whatever the G3 offer for movie performance, I was using it strictly as a gaming panel. And behind me, as you can see in the beginning of the video, before I green screen to this part, I've got that TV on the wall with that same 4090. So things just worked out the way that it needed to do. And I'm grateful for Classy to produce this type of content that spoke so near and dear to me personally as a consumer. So let's wrap this thing on up. Classy, I'll thank you if you happen to see this. Very grateful for the work that you put in with that G4 video. I think you did a great job, sir. And, you know, that content led to me making this content. I appreciate it. I feel like I got a great first look at that 83-inch specifically. There's no G4 video that talks to me at all up into this video, really, realistically. Like, to see a TV being owned by somebody that has experience with TVs is totally different than a person just getting on speaking about a lot of tech jargon about how great something is and how beautiful it looks, and a ton of professional looking B-roll shots does nothing for a person that's trying to actually buy a TV. You need to hear people talking about stuff. You need to hear people talking about stuff with experience. They've had enough hiccups in the game, and that video definitely delivers. So I appreciate you, brother. Now, while I can say that it has not completely solidified my decision to get the TV, as I said earlier, number one, that TV is not available for me to hit add to cart to buy right now. It's just not an option for me. If I wanted it, it's not an option. And then number two, I'm really interested in seeing what the B9 has to offer me. I'm so serious about it. I am so serious about the Bravia 9 that I might buy it if it's available. I don't know when the TV is going to be available, but even before I go to this thing at the end of May to check the TV out, amongst other different technologies that Sony has to provide, I will be making some vlog content for that. I digress. I may already have that TV, and I made a community post saying as such. That's how invested I am to it, because the area that I have the TV, I want better reflections. I want the largest screen that I can get. I do want to actually try to go to the other end of the spectrum now, away from OLED, not in all totality, but in this particular room where I want my TV to be, I don't have to have it as an OLED. If I have something so bleeding edge that looks good, Man, listen, I'm pretty sold on it, right? So I don't know. I got some decisions to make, but I appreciate you guys for tuning into this video. Make sure you check out my man's video because without him, I really wouldn't have the kind of talking points. And we're going to get back to rolling some more content out to you guys. Let's have some engagement down in the comments section. Make sure you like the video. If you liked it, if you felt there was some opportunity, feel free to discuss. Share it if you want to support me. And we got all those other methods too. I'm going to catch you guys on the next video. Peace, God bless, and as I always say, man, max love.